Hello and welcome to Living in Maple Valley. I'm Talli Pierre, and today I have with me Sarah Leonard. She is the owner of Mabel McKinley Boutique, which is a traveling boutique and online boutique, and she's going to talk to us about that today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. So first, start out by just telling us how you got started doing this.
Sure. So at first I was a school counselor. I was out of grad school and I was working my full-time career. And my sister and I always had this like creative edge to us. So we kept talking about starting a business. And we said, let's start the business, but let's make sure there's stuff in there that's going to fit us. So that was one thing, is that when we would go to a boutique, we couldn't find things that fit us as curvier women. So we one day just said, hey, let's do it. She found a space. We started it a month later and boom.
That's fast.
It was about 8 years ago now.
All right, very good. And where does the name come from?
So the name comes from my sister, and she had a nickname growing up from my dad, and it was Mabel McKinley. So when we went to name our business, we had started a storefront in Anchorage, Alaska. We were downtown, and there's Mount McKinley, which is also known by Denali. And we thought Mabel McKinley has the perfect ring to it. Yep. It's something in our family that my dad called my sister, and it's also related to Alaska in a way.
Yeah, okay, that's nice. And now you don't have the business in Alaska anymore? You're just based out of Maple Valley?
Correct. We used to have two storefronts. They were in Anchorage and Juneau, and my sister ran and I ran both of them. When my husband got transferred here about 4 years ago, we decided time to close the storefronts, and she was like, hey, do whatever you want with the business. I'll sit down in the background and help you when you need it. But I really wanted to go online and find events down here.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So you have a great variety of clothes, really fun stuff, and all different sizes like you mentioned. How do you choose what clothes you want to use?
Yeah, so sometimes my sister and I actually go to buying shows and pick the things out ourselves. But as Alaskans growing up, we always had to pick things out online and get them shipped to us. You can't always fly places and spend lots of money to go somewhere and buy clothes.
Right.
So we found that buying online with our suppliers worked really well. They contact us directly and say, hey, these things are coming out, they're great. So in a way, we've had to change our structure of business, because Maple Valley's very family-based, very moms, which is great because I'm a mom. And I know what I want to hide in my body. So that's one thing that I do, is I pick out things that are really mom-friendly to mom bods.
Okay.
We don't so much do the party dresses and the event dresses anymore like we used to do in Anchorage and Juneau. We do things that are comfortable, that you can throw on, put things together, and look cute, look awesome, but not look like you're going out with everybody all night long.
Right, okay, that totally makes sense. So now people can buy your clothes online anytime, and then you also do different events close by. And how do people find out about where and when those events are?
Yeah, so I try to schedule 1 to 2 events locally each month. That just gives me the right amount of time to get brand new, fresh stuff in, which typically sells out at our events locally. Or if I'm out of town, they do sell out there. So in order to find our events, you can look on our Facebook, our Instagram. Sometimes we put things on our website when they're larger, but typically it's the Facebook events that people pay attention to.
Right, okay. And so I know some of these events I think you organize yourself. And do you want to tell us about Babes Night Out, which is your next big event coming up?
So, I guess through my career as a school counselor, I did have to do a lot of event planning with graduations and all sorts of different things. We love events, and it's so fun for us.
Oh, good.
So down here, I've started just doing outreaching with more businesses. And one of the things I'm really proud of is all the business connections I've made. Lots of small businesses. Lots of people like me that have started a business on their own. So I try to get us all together to do an event every quarter, sometimes 2 times a year.
Okay.
So Babes Night Out is on March 28th. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Cedar Lodge of Maple Valley, which is connected to the food bank. Yep. So me renting it is already contributing to the food bank, which is cool because that's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
We always try to make our events some sort of nonprofit event.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And we will have 20 local businesses there. Actually, I shouldn't say local, because many are coming from out of town. So this is kind of a cool way to curate businesses, offer people something new without having to drive too far.
Right.
So we'll also have drinks, a food truck. Cascadia Pizza Truck is out of Enumclaw. And like some ambient music.
Cool.
We'll have DIY workshops, floral, and a hand lettering workshop. So really great stuff.
That's great. It looks like a really big event.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So you're doing a lot for the rest of the business community, not just your own business, which is really cool.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that. I think that people have picked me up when I needed it. I have local businesses that shout me out, that work with me, that allow me into their place so that I can thrive. Right. So in my way, I'm just like, hey, let me help organize this event so that all of us can work together and do well. Because we all need places to go, and we can't afford that overhead of a storefront around here. So this is a way that we can be out there in the public with raising our children at home or all sorts of different scenarios that women start businesses with.
Right. And really, and that's partly why I do this website, parkbench.com, that I sponsor, is because there are a lot of businesses, if you don't have a storefront, people are less likely to know about you, and this is a way to highlight more local businesses. So that's partly why I do this as well. So, well, thank you so much for joining me today. That's great.
Thank you. I love the questions.
Good. So once again, I'm Talli Pierre. I am the sponsor of the Park Bench website for Maple Valley and John L. Scott Real Estate Broker. See you next time.